Hello, everyone. Welcome to Library. The title of this book is The Last Straw, and it was written and illustrated by Zoe Matheson. And have you ever wondered what happens to straws when we finish our drinks and we throw it away? Well, this kind of tells us what happens to some of that trash. And I'm looking here and I see trees, and they've caught some like strings, old balloons, maybe some fishing net. Sippy is a plastic straw who landed here today. This bird is one of many that he met along the way. Here I go again, Sip sighs, wondering what's next. Can someone please recycle me? He cries out, so perplexed. I'm just a common straw, he shrieks. Why can't I fit in? With bottles, cans, and cardboard boxes all stacked in a bin. Traveling around the globe, he hopes to find a purpose by telling you about the plastic covering Earth's surface. Used once to slurp a soda, Sip helps someone quench their thirst. He should have been disposed of, but this red bird found him first. Through clouds and over hilltops, they flew from tree to tree. Finally, Sip squeaks at him, Your beak is pinching me. Your nest here is a strange one, and it's rather crazy. It's made of plastic rubbish. Perhaps you're getting lazy? The bird just shakes his mohawk. You think my home is icky? I build with what I find out here. These days, I can't be picky. Whirling like a dancer, Sip escapes into the breeze. He lands high in a treetop where he hears a raccoon's pleas. The furry guy is struggling. The trouble can't be plainer. Stuck around his neck, there is an old six-pack container. You should really take that off, Sip toots to no avail. I keep trying, but I can't. It's like I'm locked in jail. My head went through and now it's stuck. A really dirty trick. Who would ever toss these things? Get me out, and quick! Sippy tried to free his friend, but winds pulled him away. Through parks, on ponds, and sidewalks, he fluttered all the day. He drifted by a forest where the trees all shined like glitter. But when he got a closer look, the sparkle was just litter. The leaves had looked so bright at first. The leaves that looked so bright at first were really plastic bags. On twigs from top to bottom they clung and hung and sagged and snagged. He saw more trash than leaves and branches. It was all debris. What an inappropriately decorated tree. The night that night in the darkened woods, with only the moon's light, Sippy saw a spooky scene and knew it was not right. On the branch there was an owl caught up in a string. A yellow face was smiling as it tangled up her wing. Beaming as it floated there, so menacing and creepy, it grinned right at the frightened bird and said, I'm yours, now keep me. It might be fun to have balloons at your next celebration, but sometimes they can float away and cause this devastation. Ducks can't quack with hats of plastic. Throw away your litter. Don't just toss it on the ground. There are others to consider. When you have a picnic or a party with your friends, always take your garbage with you when the party ends. Bags of chips smell yummy to a duck who wants a snack. The scent of chips obscures the risk of falling in the sack. Sippy watches as the duck runs at a frenzied pace. I do not like this hat, she hollers. Get it off my face! Sippy's on a littered beach, observing the pollution. A plastic-headed crawly thing describes her evolution. The crab looks up and tells her tale, explaining her appearance. She failed to find a shell because of plastic interference. Heaps of trash, both high and low, were swirling in the ocean. There were no shells, just plastic caps that once had covered lotion. The caps were ugly, but one worked. Still, everyone could tell. The other crabs all laughed at her. It didn't fit her well. Pelicans are playing, chasing after our friend Sippy. One scoops him up into his beak and 3 times shouts out, "Yippee!" No treats are found inside his bill from his attempts at fishing. Just assorted plastics with no pelican nutrition. Cups, caps, lids, and styrofoam are packed inside his jaw. The only thing that's missing is a tasty, bendy straw. Sippy started playing dead, afraid he'd be included within the belly of this bird whose diet is polluted. Sip sunk to the ocean floor with garbage everywhere. He waited there and wondered, does anybody care? To rid the world of plastic was his greatest heartfelt wish. The only friends he saw for years were 3 green, angry fish. Bottles, pens, and sandwich bags, plastic nets and forks, silly toys and toothbrushes, an endless flow of sporks. Buried in this pile, Sippy bubbled up a sigh. Am I stuck here forever? Because plastics never die? Sippy meets a pufferfish, who seems so very small. Caught inside this netting, she can hardly puff up at all. The net came from a market. It was covering some fruit that landed in this ocean and became her new swimsuit. I made an error, said the fish, by puffing in this net. The color was attractive, so it didn't seem a threat. Without trashing the water, I can spike my fins with glee. Getting stuck in this plastic garbage? Oh, this is not for me. Jellyfish are snacks for turtles. It's their favorite food. But when they gobble plastic bags, it really wrecks their mood. They can't see the difference, so they always open wide. If something looks like food to them, they'll let it glide inside. Do you see the plastic bags that look like jellyfish? When turtles find a plastic bag, they chomp it and discover that when they do, their tummies ache and they may not recover. Sippy tries to warn them all. He knows the bags are trouble, but underwater as a straw, his voice is just a bubble. Suddenly, a flash of orange is all that Sip can see. A strange and wild creature says, "Come on along with me." She scoops up Sippy with her tail. They go off with a splash. "Join me for a swim," she says, "through waters filled with trash." I know the fish are out here, but they're lost in heaps of junk. Soap dispensers, flip-flops, toothpaste tubes, and plastic gunk. Squishy bottles, broken toys, and brightly colored foam. Look at all this garbage here. Can we clean up our home? Oh. Crashing through the ocean waves, a whale is having lunch. Fish and squid and plankton are the treats she hopes to munch. She opens wide, but her mouth, huge mounds of plastic slide. And sure enough, our poor friend Sip is quickly swept inside. I'm not even food, Sip yells. Come on now, spit me out. But to a whale, a pleading straw is just a little sprout. A plastic dinner is no good, there's trouble in her tummy. Is this the end of Sippy 'cause a whale thinks he is yummy? Sippy feels a rumble. Then the whale shoots out a jet. There's plastic flying everywhere, but Sippy's not done yet. I'm still here to tell you that these plastics aren't worth using. All these plastics, even me, the world must stop producing. I hope you'll share my story, Sippy squeaks as he flies by. Together we can fix this. Let's clean our world. Let's try. I'm sure I'll come around again by feather's fin or paw, and when I do, I hope it's true that I'm the world's last straw. What can you do? What can you and your family do to use less plastics? Refill reusable bottles instead of buying bottled drinks. Say no thank you to the plastic bags, or you can reuse them. Some straws are made of paper, plants, or metal. Use those instead of the plastic ones. Carry a reusable cup rather than buying drinks in plastic cups. Look for the biodegradable rings, or if you do get the rings, cut them so that they don't make a trap for animals. Say no to plastic lids on paper cups. Skip the balloons and make art instead. Bring your own glass or metal containers to take your leftover food home with you. Use the silverware you have at home and say no to plastic food, forks and spoons. Never, never throw trash anywhere other than in a bin. If there is not a bin where you are, always take your trash with you. So that is the sad tale of what is going on with all the plastic we are using. So just next time, reuse, recycle, make sure it goes in the bin, and don't let it blow about. Thank you for reading with me, everyone.